Welcome to the first Rest Day or Real Estate Saturdays. It's the day where I discuss stuff related to real estate. But before we go into the discussion, please don't forget to subscribe to my new YouTube channel to support me. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please don't forget to follow and like the page. So, ang topic natin ngayon ay ang difference ng isang real estate agent na karamihan sa atin ay alam ay isang ahente at real estate broker. I know that this is a very important topic, especially for those who want to enter any kind of real estate transaction. For a seller or lessor who owns a property in the Philippines, maaaring number one, gusto nilang mapabilis yung pagbenta ng property nila. Or number two, they need help in terms of negotiation or execution of the contracts with the buyer. Or number three, they need someone to rely on in terms of viewing and even closing, especially if they live abroad or they live far from the property being sold. And of course, this is also important for those who want to own a property in the Philippines, whether it's a condominium, house and lot, and for those who want to rent a property because number one, baka kailangan nyo ng tulong to locate all the properties in your desired area, within your price range, and those that meets your criteria. Or number two, you want a safe and secure real estate transaction, especially na malaking pera ang usapan here. You don't want to be scammed. And number three, for the buyers, baka gusto nyo ng tulong sa paglipat ng title sa pangalan nyo and sa pag-register ng title sa name nyo after ng bentahan. Yung mga nabanggit ko, iilan lang yan sa mga real estate services na maaaring kailanganin natin. Karamihan sa atin, kapag kailangan natin magpabenta o bumili ng property, pwede na kahit sinong ahente o kahit sinong nag-work sa real estate industry. Dahil isip natin, pareho lang naman. Ang real estate broker ay considered as agent. Pero hindi lahat ng agents ay real estate broker. Bakit? Kasi ang real estate broker, they act as an agent of a party in real estate transaction in exchange for a professional fee or commission. At gaya ng doktor, lawyer, teacher, accountant, sila ay duly registered or licensed dahil na-meet nila ang requirements, which is, number one, Filipino citizen. Number two, graduate ng real estate course na with bachelor's degree. Siguro mga real estate management, ganon. Dahil sa past, dati, pwede pa kahit anong 4-year course na bachelor's degree basta accredited ng CHED. Plus, kailangan ng 120 units of real estate. So, syempre, kailangan number 3 of good moral character. Very important yan. Tsaka number 4, dapat nakapasa ng real estate broker licensure exam. Saka lang, magiging isang real estate broker. So, kadalasan, yung mga real estate broker, meron silang valid PRC ID. Yung validity niyan, good for 3 years. And kung nagbebenta sila ng subdivision lots and condominium units, meron din silang HLURB ID, which is valid for 1 year. So, sinabi ko kadalasan kasi syempre, hindi naman lahat ng real estate brokers is nagko-comply. Meron pa rin namang pasaway. Yung real estate agent naman, kaya ako nasabing hindi lahat ng real estate agent real estate broker kasi ang real estate agent maaring pwedeng isa siyang accredited salesperson. Yes, accredited lang sila. Wala silang license. Wala silang kinuhang exam para magkaroon ng license. Normally, tong mga salesperson na to, they work under the authority of a real estate broker. Tapos, pwede rin naman kung hindi sila accredited salesperson, number 2, pwede rin sila ay isang colorum broker. Itong mga colorum broker naman is sila yung mga walang lisensya, wala silang accreditation as a salesperson or wala silang license as a real estate broker. Pero nangungumisyon sila, nagbebenta sila ng mga properties or like they help sa real estate transactions para kumita din. Under the law, Real Estate Service Act of the Philippines, RA 9646, hindi to pwede. Kahit na sabihin nilang, kapamilya ko naman yung may-ari or kaibigan ko yung may-ari. Or kaya naman sabihin nila, sideline nila. Hindi po pwede yon, hindi po sila pwede mangumisyon. Pwede ka lang magbenta ng property mo kapag ikaw ang may-ari ng property. Dun sa considered as real estate agents is maaring licensed real estate broker siya. I would highly recommend that you get a licensed real estate broker kasi mas kampante ka and alam mo na very professional sila, alam nila yung ginagawa nila dahil pinag-aralan nila yon. And at the same time, meron kang mahahabol na lisensya just in case magloko sila. Next time, tuturuan ko naman kayo how to select the right real estate broker for you. But for now, ito lang muna yung i-discuss ko. And if you have any more questions, just drop your questions in the comment section below. And I will try to answer that in the succeeding videos. And also, please don't forget to like my video to support me so I can create more videos like this, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell para magiging updated kayo whenever I have new videos. Every Saturday we'll have real estate discussions, so stay tuned. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please don't forget to follow and like and click see first para nakikita niyo agad kapag meron akong mga new videos. And this is Maan. I'm a PRC licensed real estate broker and this is Own Property PH.